Hello and welcome to the art lab, where today with a 2B pencil we're going to draw some circles to do some shading. So let's start with two circles for one. The first circle is going to be for demonstration of what not to do, and then the second circle is going to be for what to do. So this is wrong, this is right. On the first one, don't shade like this. If you do this type of shading on a circle, you're kind of basically messing up the format of a circle. Well, to at least make it 3D-ish. Because now what you're doing is, by doing this on a circle, well, for one, you have only a mid-tone. If you do like one solid tone for your whole circle, you have a mid-tone. And basically what it is just one tone for the whole circle. Or you could just call it one tone. So mid-tone or one tone, either one. Which is a no-no, big no-no for circles. So what you want to do, wait, also before I get into that, if you have hard edges around your circles, and let's say your light is over here, and it's coming over here, and you have like hard edges around the whole thing, you pretty much already mess yourself up on that part, unless it's a style that you're doing, because you can still get away with it if it's a style. But let's get into the right circle. So your light is here. Light. And I'm going to show you how to shade it the right way. So what you're going to want to do is, well, when I start from the back. So I like to shade in my shadow first. And I don't really care how it really looks in the beginning phases, because it's not really going to carry over to the end result. So I just kind of roughly sketch in where I want my shadows to be. And then I follow the curve of the circle, like such. And I kind of fade off when I started getting up here. See that? Yeah, kind of fade off a little bit. And then, boom, like that. Kind of follow that same edge. And then, what you're going to want to do is, pretty much, once you have your darkest tone, which this isn't my darkest tone, but it's going to be a little bit, I'm going to start my mid-tone section. Mid-tone sections are going to be lighter than the darkest tone, but you're still going to follow that same edge. I'm going to kind of do like this to get it faster in there, but over here is going to be my highlight. My highlight can be like right here. But I want to get rid of this hard line, so to do that I'm going to use circles. When you use circles, you're pretty much just, straight up getting rid of hard lines. And I'm also blending it into my my darker shadow. I'm also drawing on copy paper for anyone who wanted to know that. So if you want to pick up a pencil, pick up some copy paper or any really type of paper, any paper works. Like line paper, that works too. Actually, that works better. I'm not gonna even hold you. That line paper be hitting hard. I was in school one day, I was crazy. Anyway, so yeah, so now I still need to get rid of this line, so let me just kind of ease that out of there real quick, kind of like that. Is that line still there? I think it is, but that's okay. So now we're gonna keep following the edge up until we get to our lightest point, which is like right around here. Alright, so now I'm gonna kind of let my pencil a little bit flatter so that I can get a little bit more space, but also some softer tones as well. I can add a little bit of pressure, but I can also kind of blend it pretty well too. Make that part a little bit darker so I can match that, but follow that edge. It's really just about following that edge. And yeah, so now go across here. Now this zone arriving to my highlight zone. And on my highlight zone, I don't really want too much line work to be done on my highlight zone because it's gonna kind of mess up things. It depends on what style you're going for, but for now I'm going like, you know, traditional, somewhat realistic style. It's not really too realistic, it's like somewhat of a realistic style, so just want to go pretty light on it. And then gonna kind of just slowly ease your way into it like this. And I'm gonna actually erase some of those lines just so y'all can kind of see what the highlights are kind of used for. There we go, something like that. Boom. All right, that's the basis of the circle, right? I'm not gonna get too detailed with the circle, but just to show y'all, just, you know, how your darkest, and then your midsection, and then your high. Well, I say midsection, darkest, your mid-tone, and then your highlight tone. I'm gonna make this side a little bit darker though, just to really show the difference between it. And also, if you're a beginner and you're drawing like super light, don't be afraid to add more darkness to your drawing because it's really going to make things pop more. Because contrast is a big part in drawing. So we're going to make sure we get a lot of contrast in here real quick. I'm using a 4B to make this dark. I was using a mechanical pencil like just like 30 minutes ago, but I kind of like couldn't get any darker values than what I had, so I had to switch over to different pencils. But yeah, so while still following that same curvature of the circle, I'm gonna start blending into the mid-tone. Now since this is a 4B, I can still get lighter tones if I just don't use as much pressure. Something like that, boom, just like that. So if you look at that, darkest, mid, light. Let me go ahead and label it real quick. So you have your, I'm gonna call this dark. Don't mind my handwriting, I'm gonna work on it. Dark, I'm gonna touch it. Mid, about right here. And then, well, it already says light, but I'm gonna label it again. Light, like that. Now what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna use my trusty eraser, but it's pretty soft too. And I'm gonna kind of erase in here just a little bit. And I'm gonna come back with a soft line, like very soft line, because I wanna make sure that I can see kind of the edge of the circle. That's actually kind of darker than what I wanted it to be, but I'm still gonna kind of shade over here anyway. Get my pencil kind of flat. Get some lighter. I messed it up, I think, but I think it's cool too. It doesn't matter. Just one like that. It's like an egg, you know. Okay, ignore what I just did. Ignore that. That's not there. Ignore that. But yeah, pretty much, this is the right one. Just like completely ignore that. This is the wrong one. Now, what I'm gonna do now is show you how to do land. So when I say land, basically, what is your circle sitting on? You don't want things to just float in space. So I'm just gonna show you my shadows real quick. So let's do something like this. Since my light is this low, my shadow is gonna be kind of long, but not too long. So probably like right here. That's actually, I think that's too long. I'm gonna kind of shorten it up just by a little bit. We can kind of start curving it when I get about right here. Now, okay, there's a difference between shading stuff. Like really, what you really should do is shade your shadow in instead of drawing it in and then coloring it in, like I was just about to do. I don't know why I started doing that, but it's kind of a habit. Anyway, so we're gonna do something like this. Make sure that the shadow of your circle is opposing the light, because you don't want your light to be here, but your shadow over here. That's gonna like throw off everything. It's not even right lighting, so make sure your lighting is right. It's gonna give it a more realistic look to it. Now, since I'm on a flat surface, I won't have to shade in a circle for the flat surface, because I'm on a flat surface, you know what I mean? So something like this can work out pretty nicely. And let me kind of give it a little bit of curvature to it. Now my shadow should be darker than my darkest element right there. But I'm not gonna do that just for like the sake of the video. So it won't be too long, you know what I mean? But what I'm gonna do, okay, I'm just gonna say right now, this shadow is not looking right. I'm gonna say that right now because I don't like how the shadow looks. But this is just me being very like, you know, judgmental towards myself sometimes. But I mean, you know, hey, the best way to improve. So there we go, shadow here, boom, just like that. Right now, last thing we're gonna do, shade into table. This is gonna show you, you know, where your ground is. Show you that it's something, it's standing on something, you know what I mean? Oh, and also, let me put in my hard edge. The hard edge is like the edge that's connected to the ground. It's gonna be something like this. Since this circle looks more like a rock than anything, I'm gonna say that this part right here is on the ground, this part is above the ground. So it kind of stops like right there. And maybe something goes under here some, which means I really should have started my shadow like right here, honestly. But we can still do something like this anyway. So I'm just gonna do something like that real quick. Yeah, something like that. Okay, this still works out pretty nicely, so it's okay. But yeah, so you have your ground here. And to show that this is a ground, I'm gonna do one more thing. Let's say this is a rock, right? We're gonna draw some plants. And the plants are gonna go up like this, right? This is how you show like, you know, distance and stuff like that, which I will get into another video, but kind of showing you like, you know, different things. Showing you like that it's on the ground and that these are also things on the ground. This resides in its shadow, so it doesn't go that way. This one's gonna go this way. Pretty much everything is gonna flow pretty much the same way. And you have to make sure that you kind of follow the same pattern that everything has, just to make sure that it's like, you know, the same. So boom, and there you go. That's the rock. Somewhat, I guess that can be added in as a rock part too. And also one more thing, before we wrap this video up, I will use a 4B this time. I'm gonna show you something real quick. This is like pressure. So what you're gonna do is go really dark, push down like almost as hard as you can, and then ease your way out of it. Go into a mid-tone, which is what I'm about to arrive to right now. But right there, that's like the mid-tone. Start lighting it up a little bit more. You're gonna get into your softer tone. And that should make it right there. And I'm gonna label it. So you have these are microns. You can have dark. No, we'll call it high. What? I'll do dark. No, hard. I'll do hard. Hard and mid and soft. Now, since this was a different type of paper, different type of lead, it's a 4B, which is darker than 2B. My soft doesn't really look that soft, but that is okay. Because at the end of the day, I'm just trying to get the point across to where y'all can kind of, you know, understand it a little bit more. But yeah, so when you're at home, just practice this so you can get better at art. Because shading is actually a big part of art. If you have a character that you want to design, but you don't have like, you know, your shadows on point, then they can kind of mess things up in a way. Now, unless the character that you have doesn't, you don't need shadows for it. But yeah, so this is the end of this video for the art lab. And just let me know in the comment section what y'all want next. I'll be happy to do more tutorials on different things. As long as it, you know, resides in my ability to do it, or at least I'll try the best I can on doing it. But yeah, hope you have a great night. Good night.